This video is all about window hinges. So on this updated plan, I have this double-sided blue arrow on each window that's supposed to open. The idea is 2 windows on each side. That means not only that the windows need to be hinged, but that they need to open outward and that they need to be symmetrical. A lot of the windows have hinges. Some of the windows have a mortise for hinges, but no actual hinges. Some of the windows have both, but they're hinged to swing inward. We need all the windows to swing outward because the greenhouse is going to be full of greens. What I need to do, and I'm going to start today, is go through the windows, identify where they go, and then choose the windows that are closest to what's needed, and then either determine that they're okay the way they are, which is, I don't think, going to be the case anywhere, and then figure out the changes and go ahead and make the changes. So starting with the 6 windows for the bottom part of the south wall, they fall into 2 types. I have these leaned against the house now. There's a top and a bottom. I have them right side up. And the putty side is always exposed to the weather on any window. And so the 3 of them on the left have the hinge on the left, and the 3 of them on the right have the hinge on the right. The window that's going to go on the lower left of the diagram on the south wall is going to come from that left group of 3, and the one for the lower right of the south wall is going to come from that right group of 3. These windows were hinged to open inward, and we need them to open outward. Taking this window as an example, I need to reverse this hinge so the hinge pin is on the putty side, not the inside. I've moved the window, both windows, into the shop now and clamped it onto the table saw resting on a big plastic bin so I can very easily work on the hinges, which were really encrusted with paint. Who knows how many times this thing's been painted. But I was able to remove the old hinges, and you can see here the mortise where one of the hinges was. I can expand this mortise or cut a new one with this HingeMate 300 kit that consists of templates for different sizes of mortises. And here you can see I've got the template attached to the window ready for routing. Okay, the HingeMate kit came with a router bit with a bearing on top, just similar in concept to the idea that I used when I was cutting the plywood for the church window. So the bearing is going to ride on the template while the cutter does the work to cut out the mortise. It's necessary now to set the height so that the depth of the mortise is exactly the depth of the hinge. I have it easy because there's already a mortise there. All I had to do was put the router on top of the template and then lower the bit until it touched. My initial cut that was too deep is there, but that's going to be covered by the hinge. But if I drag my fingernail over between the old mortise and the new extension, I don't feel anything. So I've got the height. I now want to try it with a hinge. You can see that it now slides into the mortise, and it doesn't even rock side to side very much, and so You know, the hinge used to be like that. Now it's like this, so it has been reversed. Now, before I took out the old hinge, I found that my brass spacer just covered this here, and so I'm going to locate all the hinges exactly this much. Now, that hole in the middle actually seems to still be in the right place. I'm looking down on it, and so I'm wondering if I can just take a shortcut here and use that hole, and we'll see where is that put the hinge. You can see there's hardly a screwdriver slot there. I'm going to put this screw in. I probably should have cleaned it up first with the wire brush. Anyway, we'll put this in, and that'll hold the hinge there in its new position just by coincidence, and the spacer is just about right. The thing is that the hinge pin needs to be some distance from the door, otherwise it's going to interfere. So that looks like a good new position for the hinge. I don't want to actually put it in yet because I have to clean it up. And the mortise is the right depth because you see the hinge is flush with the door, or at least it's as flush with the door as it ever was. I was happy to discover that the hinge comes apart. The hinge pin comes right out, which is kind of amazing because we were told that these windows came off a house built in 1938, and I'm not sure this hinge pin has been out since then, but it came out, and now I think I'm going to wire brush the hinges. So I fitted a wire brush to my angle grinder. I've got the half hinge in my vise, and I'm going to go at it. Okay, so I have a hinge cleaned up. It's always fun to compare this to the how it looked. I probably took off the brass finish and got down to the steel, but I think the whole thing now has a really nice rustic look to it, and it's I think it's way better than it was. Here's the hinge cleaned up, put back together. I oiled the hinge pin, see, so it moves. Now it's time to attach the window to the side jamb. And the side jamb is what gets attached to the framing of the greenhouse, and the idea is that if we precisely set the hinge now to the side jamb, and then the side jamb is put into position later and made plumb, that is completely vertical, then the window should also swing into the opening. What I've done is run one side of this 2x4 through the jointer. It's not completely flat, but it's flat enough, and in particular the part where the hinge is going to go is flat. I have a spacer here to space the side jamb 2x4 about 1/4 of an inch away from the window. That's not the normal position. The normal position would be that the hinge is in the gap, but I have the hinge now intruding on the side jamb, and there's a reason for that that is more easily explained after I get everything all attached here and I can swing the side jamb into the position it will be in when the window is closed. So we'll postpone that discussion. I very carefully traced the outline of the hinge with a pencil, and on the other end also, and that will tell me where to cut the mortise. Now I have the hinge template clamped to the side jamb. You can see that the hinge now fits into the mortise almost, but the router of necessity makes round corners, and some hinges have round corners, but this hinge doesn't. And in anticipation of this, I bought a corner cutting chisel, which you see on the right of the picture there. So what I need to do is chisel out the corners, and then the hinge should go all the way in and I can screw it down. With the corners cut square, the hinge goes all the way in, but it doesn't sit flat because the hinge pin here has nowhere to go. It's up against the wood. So what I need to do is route the edge here of the jamb side. The hinge will sit flat and the hinge pin will be recessed into the side jamb. Now the hinge is installed. I have routed recess for the hinge pin, which is down here in the side jamb. The hinge is in its mortise. The corners are square instead of rounded. It's screwed in, and I can now explain why I moved the hinge pin over here into the side jamb instead of being in the gap. And the reason is that when you close the window is then recessed in the framing. This side here is flush with the framing. The window is recessed. That's because the other windows, the other four on this south side of the greenhouse, are going to be recessed. They're fixed. They need to be recessed because there needs to be a strip of molding along those to seal the gap, make them look good, and keep the weather out. And I wanted this hinged window and the other one to be recessed to match the recess of the others. If this were flush and the others were recessed, it would look a little funny. So this window and the one just like it are the two that open on the south side. There's 6 more to go, 2 on each of the other 4 sides. Some of them have mortises. Sometimes the mortise has to be reversed, like here. There are at least a couple that have never been windows that open, don't have any mortises. And then the side jambs have to be prepared. And I think in all the cases, the windows need to be recessed, like this one.